morale as well. You drop a ton of fat in the first few weeks, you're like, fuck yeah, I'll keep pushing, even if it does suck a little bit. And then it increases as you get leaner and start to suffer a bit more. In my opinion, that sounds a lot more sustainable.
Did you guys have any other questions about diet? Because there is something I want to
go for it.
Okay.
Segue.
Yeah. Your testosterone. Because no, this is really interesting because whenever we have some people that come on and they, their hormone talk starts, I bring you up quite a bit because you've talked about where your testosterone levels are, but you hold a lot of muscle on your frame. And a lot of individuals, especially young guys, are of the belief that if you have a certain amount of testosterone, you're going to need to hop on TRT to build muscle.
Right.
Which, to be perfectly honest, I think is bullshit, especially when you're young. But for you,
it's gonna be hard to see. But
number one, what were your levels at? Were you surprised by seeing that? Was it when you were really lean or something, or what is that to you?
Unfortunately, I've never had a test when I was very, very young to know where my real baseline is at. But on average, my testosterone has always been on the lower end of normal, always, and it hasn't definitely now hasn't impacted my ability to get stronger, to make progress. I am absolutely sure that if you take me as I am right now, and then you somehow magically increase my testosterone, magically, we know what that means. Even if it just went to the high end of normal, okay, I am absolutely confident that would improve everything in my life.
Okay.
My vitality would probably go up. I'd build muscle easier for sure. I'm sure that would happen. Okay, because we know physiologically how testosterone works. Of course, it's going to help you. It's going to make a difference there. But does it mean that I'm at a humongous disadvantage right now? Doesn't matter. Okay, I don't have the competitive goal of being the biggest, strongest guy on earth. I'm able to maintain muscle mass, and there's no reason testosterone does help, but adding in more and more and more isn't always going to help. Again, we know that from a lot of people using a lot of gear. Upping the dose doesn't always make you lift the most. It's going to have diminishing returns. It's going to have a lot of side effects to it as well. So, I know, this is roughly normal for me, this low end of normal-ish. If it was, gutter ball low, then I'm probably going to feel like shit. And I'm probably going to have a lot of issues as well. But for me, with my physiology, this seems to be okay, or I can function. And I can thrive. I don't want to say function I'm just keeping a head above water.
Yeah. But
this is where it sits comfortably. Whether I'm in a surplus, whether I'm at maintenance, whether I'm dieting aggressively, it hovers around that kind of range. And everyone's going to be different. Some people may feel like shit at this range and they need to be higher. Some people may get away with being lower. And this is where it's a very personal thing. That's why it's very hard to, I think, prescribe certain amounts or certain levels as being optimal. This is definitely not my wheelhouse, so I can't speak from that perspective to Gen Pop or anybody in general as what the ideal hormonal status is. But for sure, it's I know for sure that everyone's going to be different. Everyone's going to have different physiology around what makes them thrive and what helps them feel okay as well. But there's also, we've got to look beyond the physiology. Okay, of just what are your test levels at? It's also about what is your psychology around your test levels. Okay, I'm indifferent. I could have seen a number there that was through the roof, or I could have seen a number there that was gutter ball low, and I'm indifferent. I'm like, cool, whatever. I care more about how I feel. Some people, they see a number like that, psychologically placebo, I've got to feel like shit now. I'm going to start get no libido, how much of it is physiological, how much of it is psychological.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now I want to talk to you guys about Within You supplements. This is Mark's supplement line. And the amazing thing is Mark used to be 330 pounds. He was a fat guy. So obviously this stuff tastes really damn good. But another cool thing about Within You supplements is that none of these products are white labeled. Now what a lot of people do when they come out with their own supplement lines is they do something called white labeling. And white labeling, all that means is there's a supplement that's already out there. They take off the tag of that supplement, they put their name on it, and now it's their supplement line. Quite literally, there's nothing else like Within You supplements out there because Mark formulated these supplements with other individuals that he knows within the industry, like Joel Green, who we've had on this podcast. So you guys should check out Within You. We have amazing whey protein, electrolyte supplements. We have fasting gum and many other things on the website. Andrew, how can they check it out?
Yes, that's over at markbellslingshot.com. And at checkout, enter promo code PowerProject10 to save 10% off your entire order. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
And that's a huge thing where I personally, just based on my background, based on my history, based on my knowledge, I am able, for the most part, to remain quite pragmatic and level-headed around it all, where it doesn't freak me out. And that's why I can personally afford to be at this lower test without being so upset and freaked out about. But I know a lot of other people would, and they say, "Oh my god, you crashed your hormones." Like, no, it's not. It's where it normally sits. But again, like I do know that I probably would be better if I had higher testosterone. I might be more muscular. I might be able to handle more training volume. Who knows? But for where I'm at now, like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm progressing. I'm able to maintain my physique and make progress there. I'm able to diet without suffering. I'm able to have energy, got a good libido, good performance in everyday life, good energy levels. I'm doing everything right there.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, that's about it with the levels. So I think one thing, big takeaway for people is like not obsessing over those numbers. If you're in the extremes, maybe something it can be amiss, and blood work is something we can analyze and say, okay, here's where there may be issues or non-issues or whatever. But again, a little bit of information can be a very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
We see one number, we obsess over that number without understanding the context in which the number occurs and how the number can influence psychology and how that is a very big player, where it is our perception on things that does play out to a lot of placebo effects, which we know is a real tangible thing. So the better that we can be equipped knowledge-wise to be able to handle that and navigate that, I think the better. And of course, like I'm still going to do my best to optimize my testosterone. I'm still going to care about resistance training. I'm still going to care about sleep and nutrition and making sure I don't do stupid things that would compromise my testosterone, because I don't want to see it low for the sake of being low. I'd love to see it higher. It'd be great to see it higher. Let's take some steroids now. Let's do it.
It'd be really interesting to know, like, if there is a correlation amongst people that are natural with muscle mass and testosterone. Like, it doesn't seem to really make a big difference. There's a lot of guys that are low that are jacked as fuck, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
I kind of have a theory, which I think that just to a certain extent, I mean, we're all very different, especially when you get into the chemistry of what's going on in our body for a million different reasons. But I kind of think in terms that would be said better than this, but I basically think that you kind of use it up. I think that it gets utilized, like a little bit like carbohydrates. Now, it might sound like an asinine thing to say, but I think that your body is only going to produce the amounts that it needs. And each person, I think, reacts a little different to testosterone, estrogen, and all these different things. And I think based on all the stuff that you do in a day, all the way from stuff in the gym to stuff in the bedroom to the things that we watch and the things that stress, we know like what stress can kind of change the hormones. And we know that there's certain things that you can do that all of a sudden tells the body to produce more testosterone. So I kind of think in some weird way, through the physical stuff that we do, through the stresses that we do, that testosterone's going up and down, up and down, up and down. But because every action has another reaction, right? All your other markers are moving up and down, and we don't know what that is yet.
Yeah.
And when we do, I think we can put that into a super shot and we can all get really fucking jacked. But I don't think we know like how to stabilize the rest, because I think that you could actually make steroids. I think you could make them very, very safe.
For sure.
If things filled in the cracks of
absolutely
all the other stuff you're producing and you didn't have these highs and lows all the time.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of my
interesting way to
bro
put it.
science version of it.
I like it. I mean, I'm all for the bro science. I love that. But it's a really good way of putting things. I really do. That resonates.
So Power Project family, I hope you enjoyed this clip. We are on Discord and Reddit. We're trying to talk to you guys and build a community down there. So the links are in the bio. But remember, like, comment, subscribe, share this out with people so you can share the wealth of health. As cheesy as that fucking sounds. Peace.